Good
Okay.
evening, everybody. It's nice to join you again. And following on the importance of chanting, which cannot be, the importance cannot be overstated. And yet, many people ask us um, if we are the non dual self, then why do we need chanting? I mean, does God need us to chant? And obviously, God does not need us to chant. The whole idea of chanting and mantras, especially identity mantras, is really just to reinforce the attention back onto the self, back onto the essence, which is you. And it's not about projecting it onto a godlike object. So I want to share with you this beautiful email that came in to Ramji, and I shared it. Ramji shared it with me. It's from a very advanced inquirer who was with us at the Suyalila seminar, and her email kind of really brings up this point, and she talked about the duality of God. So I have titled this satsang, "The Duality of God," and we'll explain it. I will first read to you what she says. Now, just a caveat here is just that this is what she brings up is pretty much an advanced topic. It's really for inquirers that have already done quite a bit of work and have a lot of the methodology of Vedanta understood, and they're following it. It's one of the most advanced teachings, really, and it's probably one of the most profound and difficult realizations to finally assimilate.
But it just happens naturally.
Yes, it's
It
not
just
something
sort of
you can't make.
You
it
can't
happen.
make this happen.
Nonetheless, it generally does come.
It will
during
come
the-
if you just
yes,
stick with
if you have.
stick with your practice. Absolutely.
So
And it seems quite natural and surprising in a way to you, because you actually don't realize that how you've been thinking about yourself. And
I'll start off by reading her section, and I'll stop here and there to explain some of the things she says. And she started off by saying, "I'm writing to you to share that I found myself apparently still stuck in ignorance, or maybe others would say stuck in sattva, which sounds a bit fancier, but is still ignorance." And that is so true. And I think many inquiries have this problem with aiming for sattva as though that is moksha, whereas it's really just the springboard for moksha. This personal identity with the story of the blessed person and the rarity to come across Vedanta and having a proper teacher in life by the grace of God. The grace of God apparently still showered on something, the person or blessed person. See the duality, exclamation mark.
yeah, that's her comment.
Yes.
Yeah.
God, if I could feel ashamed, I would. Ha ha, she said. This lady has a wonderful sense of humor, and I hope you're watching. Or if I was truly a Catholic, I would confess my sins now. This whole narrative falls totally flat against my favorite Upanishad, the Mandukya. So the more reason to tuck the tail between the legs. There is kind of a feeling of embarrassment when this starts sinking in,
Yeah.
because you realize that it's been there all along.
You
and
think
just
you're somebody,
haven't seen.
something special.
Yes.
You're spiritual.
Yes. Also, this rarity narrative, like in the verse 7.3 of the Bhagavad Gita, among quote, among thousands of people, a rare person makes effort for moksha. Even among those seekers making an effort, only a rare person comes to know me in reality, which is just a way of saying that self-actualization, or the full assimilation of self-knowledge, and non-dual vision is extremely subtle. Feeling blessed and the story concerning rarity is all good and well, and gives a humble heart full of gratitude. But this story also needs to go, in the sense that the ego had apparently built a new identity on it. So what are you now? You're now a special person who has this knowledge. It is not the kiss of death, of course, as this is just what the ego is good at, building new identities.
Yeah, right.
But still, it doesn't serve me. And then she puts in parentheses, not that I need serving. So thank you very much for keeping throwing these pearls at this pig of ignorance. It works, as you know. And it really does. So this is an encouragement to all of you out there who are so dedicated as inquirers. By the way, this is an addition in her comments. This desire to share knowledge, love, is still there. It is a natural thing, I would say.
Yeah, that's right.
Some say desire is a privilege, but it has nothing to do with me, nothing to gain, nothing to lose. Life is a time pass. What a joke.
It's passing time, we would say. Is a time pass.
But I like that way she
Yeah,
puts
time
it.
pass. Time is passing.
So you see the incredible knowledge that's really firming up for her there. So I said to her, this is such a beautiful satsang. Ramji shared it with me. It really hits the nail on the head regarding how subtle non-duality really is and how persuasive and insidious duality is.
Yeah, it's very convincing.
It is so subtle that it's really difficult to fully let go of the jiva identity, even though, or especially because duality and non-duality are not in opposition to each other. It would be so much easier if you could unequivocally separate duality and non-duality, but there is no way to do that because they are not in the same order of reality. They never meet and they are not in opposition to each other.
Yeah.
Only self-knowledge dissolves the apparent split. And the apparent part is the tricky part.
Yeah, because we're taking an apparent split to be a real split.
Yes.
Actually, there really is a difference between you and God, yourself.
And that's why it's so difficult to really dismiss that jiva identity. As you say, there is no shortage of seemingly attractive identities on offer from Ishwara's dream. And Sattva is one of the most seductive for the ego. How it loves the idea of perfecting itself.
Yeah, being perfect.
Of being special, virtuous, and dharmic. And why would it not? Seeing as the essence of life is auspiciousness, that which is always good, meaning the self.
Meaning you're always good. You're always perfect.
So we know that is our essence. So we try to perfect the jiva and get it in line with that. Yet being stuck in sattva is as much ignorance as being stuck in rajas or tamas. In as much as there is a world for the jiva to work out its karma, the dream world would not be possible without adharma too.
Yeah, there you go.
Ishwara can only be Ishwara with the full spectrum of possibilities playing out in the field of existence. For ignorance to go, everything has to go. The blessed good person especially must be obliterated, and with it, the bad person too.
Yeah, they depend on one, depends upon the other.
Yeah. And so God and the teachings must go. Shocking. The final renunciation. The renouncer must be renounced, even though if that is what truly transpires, there is no one and nothing left to obliterate or renounce. Now that is such a huge shift from the jiva perspective. I think it's just often not understood.
Yeah,
the mind can't compute it. There are no words that truly describe that, because all words are mithya. At this point, assimilation either takes place or not. Often it does not. The jiva survives moksha, self-realization, and inquirers either fall into the void or remain stuck with their limited jiva identity, albeit a more subtle one. Maybe it's one that chants a lot of mantras and has a tremendous devotion to God, but it's still enlightened as an ego, not as the
that's
self.
true. But at the same time, is all you have to do is chant the mantra one time, and you're back at that understanding.
That's right.
So you have instant access to that.
It is a shortcut. It's like
it's
a
shortcut. Yeah, it's a fast food. Gobble it down once or twice, and you're right back to where you once were. What is it? What was that Beatles song? get back to where you once belonged.
Where you've always belonged.
Where you've always belonged. Yeah.
Now, what
They just been with Mahesh Yogi. That's where they got all that. Anyway.
What our friend pointed out and what she said was that she realized how few people get this. And I said, it's true that few find their way beyond this, mainly because the major canyon to traverse before all is renounced, even the renouncer, is total surrender and devotion to Ishwara or God, which sounds so contradictory and dualistic.
Why would you get so devoted and then to get undevoted?
Yet there is no fine print to that. If the jiva is not real, there is no free will and no real freedom for it, only from it. The jiva identity cannot be changed or perfected. It can only be understood to be a part of the Mithya dream, which is all Ishwara. But Ishwara is not the dream. Ishwara is you, the self, Satya. You are free of Ishwara associated with Maya, free of the jiva and of the dream. Then Mithya becomes Satya because it always was in a non-dual reality. There's no other choice. This is so confusing that it is where most inquirers get stuck, the both and of it all. It seems like such a paradox, but it isn't. The deep desire for duality to somehow produce non-duality, as though it ever could. That's why we chase objects. We're actually looking for ourselves.
Yeah, and you get a little blip of that non-duality when you get what you want or avoid what you don't want. You get just a little snippet, and that's it. And then your mind, ignorance, shuts back up, closes the mind again, and then you're off searching for yourself again.
Whereas you are the source. So the desire to redeem and polish the jiva and give it a world that makes sense, the governed by a just and fair God, the upholder of Dharma and the destroyer of Adharma.
Yeah.
But that world and that God does not exist. Life is zero sum. If you want permanent freedom from the jiva, you must accept all of God or none.
Yeah, remember Arjuna in chapter 11.
Yeah.
He doesn't accept it.
Only in that way can the dream be known for what it is, only apparently real. There is only you, the self. You are unaffected by Dharma and Adharma. For self-knowledge to assimilate, God knowledge is therefore non-negotiable.
Yeah, essential.
Even so, it takes great confidence to shed the jiva identity entirely, without the need to perfect, deny, or protect it, to embrace being ordinary. The jiva is fine the way it is, and it's fine the way it is not. Freedom from the jiva means accepting what cannot be changed about it, without making excuses for bad behavior or binding tendencies. To uphold Dharma because you are Dharma as the self, and you are surrendered to Ishvara, not the fearful jiva. And very importantly, it means to be impervious to criticism and praise equally.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Now, this is a big one because I had an experience with this, which I will explain. Perhaps the toughest one is to be impervious to criticism. I had an experience recently where I felt I was unfairly attacked and insulted, which hurt my feelings. Instead of being indifferent and discriminating, I was defensive. Ishvara revealed to me the vestige of a fear-based person who still had an attachment to the idea of the jiva being a good and righteous person who was apparently being unfairly treated. It is a pretty ingrained human tendency for most, and one that is hard to dismiss. It's probably one of the hardest, and I think we all battle with this. Nobody likes being criticized. Why? Because the ego is still in charge.
Yeah, it's still in charge.
But it has to go. We are never not the perfect whole and complete, limitless, ordinary, non-dual self. And when that knowledge is firm and the Jiva Ishvara identity is known, both in what is the same and what is different about it, then and only then you cannot make a mistake or be a mistake. Discrimination is automatic.
Make a mistake or be a mistake.
Yeah, So no matter what anybody says to you, whether they attack you or not, you would say, well, okay, it's not that you would accept a dharmic behavior necessarily, or there aren't times that you would need to respond and stand up and fight. But it would be from a position of the self where there wouldn't be any inner rage or inner disturbance. that's always the signal that there is still ignorance there, however subtle it is.
Yeah.
There's still a tiny bit of the jiva left.
A trace.
Discrimination is automatic. And from that point, every response to what life presents is the right response because you are Ishwara.
Yeah, you're non-different from Ishwara.
So if you want me to go over any of that or you want to pose any questions, I think you have it on the screen in front of you. So you've been able to read along. Have they been able to read along?
We'll just go back here to people can ask questions. We'll open this window. Yeah. There we go.
So we're open to questions on the whole topic.
Yeah, if anyone has any contributions or questions or whatever, don't be shy. Yes, Peruse. Yeah. Not knowledge. I said, oh, that's good. I was pretty profound. There's no gravity in space. Yeah. Knowledge, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Correct.
Knowledge ties you down. Because the more you seek knowledge, the more you're like feeding your ignorance. And that knowledge ignorance loop never goes away. Because the more you seek to know, the more there is to know. That's the problem with knowledge. So this is why the human race keeps evolving, because it takes a long time for the human race to evolve, to get past certain things, but gradually, it does grow. At the same time, it's just going to continue to evolve and evolve and evolve until one day the whole universe just collapses and the big crunch comes, and the whole thing goes back into its potential form. So there's no limit to the growth that you can achieve through knowledge. On the other hand, you're struggling all the time. That's a struggle. It's like gravity. It's pulling you down. It's weighing you down. I need to know. Understand? So, but the self is gravity field. There's in space. There's no gravity, right? So yeah, that's great, Piruz.
Good analogy.
Good.
They're asking for the text in the chat.
Yeah, you will post it on the satsang section, right?
Yes. Yes.
Will be on shiningroad.com. It's satsang.
Oh,
the satsang will be in the satsang section, but it can't be posted now. They're asking. Is it not?
No, they should go to the website tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, go to the website. You can get it. It's this thing is unfolding so quickly. This shining world, things are happening so quickly. It's just a job to stay current. I've just been going like a devil since Thursday was it Thursday that we left?
Yeah,
Friday. So the last 2 days have just been nothing but wall to wall energy activity going on. So we'll have that up. Plus some other really good satsangs will come up now. I got quite a list now that I wasn't able to post. I just didn't have time to post them last week. But anyway, that should be that should be a stop. At least twice a week you should go to the website and read those satsangs. The interesting thing about it is that Ishwara brings them up in topics to us. It's not like we're actually planning this. It's just that we're presenting what Ishwara is putting to us. And so the whole mind, all you guys out there that are thinking in this way are part of one mind that's moving in tandem toward this pure freedom. And so the thing just keeps getting more and more intense and beautiful and interesting as you go. You must know, that, or you wouldn't keep coming back over and over and over again. So anyway.
Yeah. Any more questions from anyone?
Go ahead, Damien. We'll get everybody. Yeah. Well, it, it, yeah, but it gets internalized. It's already internalized. That's the point. I mean, my parents, honestly, somebody said that I think she'd get kind of tired of it, but I'm always worshiping my parents, citing their wonderful qualities and giving quotations from them. Oh, not when they were alive, not so much, but when they were dead, huh? Everything they gave to me just was already in there. It was coming. So the same is true with the guru. Like
It was same as Chinmaya.
yeah, with Swami
Also.
Chinmaya all the time. I've got 2 pictures of him in my bedroom, and everything reminds me of him. And all these words that come out, the words I'm telling you, are basically the same words I heard from him. And a lot of the quotations are the same. And the way it's exactly just his voice, and that voice was the voice of his guru, and it goes right back to the beginning. That's the voice of God. It's just speaking through you all the time. So the uh, physical entities is beautiful. On the other hand, it's unnecessary, really. I've often said, gee, I could do it all without this physical body, because the physical body lugging it around is a bit of a problem. I could do it all with my mind. And you can, really. Although you can't, of course you can't, but you can. And so, thinking, allowing this whole knowledge to go in, and your teacher or teachers, whoever they are, to go in, is a great. It just happens. In fact, we don't condemn a person's bhakti for a teacher. We often will criticize a teacher or behavior or their teaching, but never the love that you have for a teacher. Like there's a lot of people who have love, deep bhakti for particular teachers who are real scoundrels, and and that's fine, because that person served them at the right time, and so forth and so on, and that keeps the love going. They become beautiful symbols of the self for them. And so we never try to disturb your guru bhakti at all, because it's all one guru anyway, and everybody gets the guru they deserve at the right time. So but it should all go internalized, and pretty soon you'll discover that you are the guru, you are the self. That's the way it works. Hmm. Well, no, you don't. You'll see everyone as your guru. I mean, I see my cat as a guru. I see the self in my cat. No, believe me, I mean, I know it sounds silly. In fact, Ramana Maharshi said he said his cow was the guru and was enlightened. And they have they still do today. They have a ceremony. It's called cow pongal, and it's a special worship. And they all gather in the cow shed. They all cram in there with all the Brahmins and all the devotees and so on and so on, and the priest, and they worship the cow. They dress it up, and they put its horns and the whole thing, and they see it as God. So everything should be teaching you. Guru means, teaching you who you are.
Besides, the teaching is supposed to make you independent of the guru.
Yeah.
It's not about dependency on a specific guru.
Person,
because
yeah.
The guru represents the self. And when you know the self is your guru.
Yeah, but that doesn't apply to you. Yeah, that's right.
You can only be attached to the self, right?
You're welcome, Dan. There was another question, I think, somewhere. Yeah.
That's good.
That- yeah. Yeah. She gets sprouting all the time. Absolutely. You, Ruth.
Yeah.
Hey, it's really hard to see the downside of knowledge. Unless you're really dull and just the whole idea of knowledge turns you off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That looks like about it, huh? Where's Jamie? Isn't Jamie there? Jamie always has something to say.
Jamie Curtis says she's not on.
Oh, well, Miss
Maybe.
Jamie. Okay. Yeah. Mind-boggling. Yeah. Yeah, that's
That's
right.
right.
Yeah, that's right. Because it's no, that's right.
That's
In the chapter in my chapter on in essence and in how to attain enlightenment, they talk about the four qualifications for moksha, and one is a qualified seeker, and the other is an impersonal scripture, and the other is a qualified guru, and what's the fourth one? God's grace, Ishwara's grace, because all this is mithya stuff, the guru, the seeker, so forth and so on,
Yeah.
But what?
God chanting, all of it.
Yeah, what's the purpose of my enlightenment? It only God knows what the reason I've got enlightened for. It isn't just for me. Yeah, it's for me, but God doesn't think about you personally. It knows what? It knows that there's only one person. So when the right people are ready to hear what you have to say, God's going to flip the switch and they're going to listen to you. But you don't know when that's going to happen.
And until then, you'll be enlightened probably as an ego.
Or you just be free without,
without freedom.
freedom without freedom. Yeah.
Or not that free.
Or not that free. Yeah.
It's very, very subtle, and it's very difficult. The jiva identity, it finds its way in. It's just very tenacious. It's hard to disidentify with it completely. But all the tools we have at our disposal are wonderful. They're tools, and chanting is one of them.
Yeah,
it really is like a superpower, a way of focusing on the self. And even though it may be a dualistic practice, it's wonderful for the jiva. It's just such a feel-good thing to do because you're in the bliss of the self. Good for you.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice to get somebody that can play the tambura or the make a drone or a what do they? I forgot. I used to play it. The one, the squeezer, the box. Yeah, harmonium. Yeah, yeah. I used to play it. I used to do that a lot when I was in Rishikesh. I had a music teacher who taught me the harmonium. Just basic chants. I just wanted to learn the basic tunes and do it. And so I bought a harmonium from him, and I used to sit all day in my room chanting mantras with the harmonium. I think I drove some of the people in the ashram crazy, you know. But you know, so yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I knew that.
Yeah.
Just do it on your own. I mean, you know.
Yeah, you don't need to have other
I
people.
couldn't be lugging the harmonium around. As soon as I left Rishikesh, I was wandering all over the place. I gave my harmonium away and just kept it chatting with it's no problem carrying a japa mala, and so
And once you get into the practice, you find it just like Ramji said, it just bubbles out.
it just keeps
And you
going.
will feel the words, the sounds are just coming out. It's just, it's ongoing.
Yeah,
It's
when
just
she's in her studio, I come down, I hear
Yeah.
it going. When she's cooking dinner, I hear it going, so forth and so on. And
yeah,
it's lovely.
it's a beautiful
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 practice, simple
practice.
practice.
Yeah. All our
You're
best to
welcome.
you and Joe. Give him a
Yeah, say hi to Joe.
thank you.
Samajo's he's a musician. You've been doing it a long time, right? Yeah, with the guitar. And you seem to you recognized what's his name? Somesh. He also does. He's attended the retreat for in Surya Leela. And yeah, cool. So you're obviously getting great benefits. You've been at it for like what, 40 years or something? 30 years, huh? Yeah, because that's your nature. You're built for music. So you use, the name of God. There's nothing. I mean, all music somehow invokes God in one way or the other, or the devil. I once was taken to a triple bill concert in Toronto with Anthrax, Megadeth, and Slayer. Huh? Heavy metal guys, huh? And you know what was really interesting about that? There's this huge outdoor auditorium, and every set from all three of those bands was set up like an altar with like a death's head on, and everything was just totally completely aligned exactly as an altar. And then they just and the head banging. I mean, they were all head bangers, and their head for like 2 hours or 3 hours, their heads were just banging. And they were in a totally ecstatic state. I couldn't. I had to get out of there after a while. I just went to please my girlfriend who was a little goofy and liked really weird stuff. But I had earplugs in and headphones on, and it didn't matter because the vibrations were so strong. It was like getting hit, banged on your chest, and your whole body was like assaulted by this music. And it wasn't it wasn't like uplifting music, man. It was like all lower chakra stuff.
And yet it's still a form of
And
devotional
yet
practice.
it's still like worshiping Ishwara, because Ishwara is both the good and the evil.
Yeah,
You know?
there's no escaping that.
Yeah, you can say that Ishwara set it all up. Ishwara was playing the music, and Ishwara left the scene.
Yeah,
No.
the whole thing's a setup. And once you see that, then you're good to go. Then you just relax and you let Ishwara do it. That's what we call surrender. You surrender the doer to it.
Yeah.
You see, I'm not the teaching. Ishwara as the doer means you get to relax and and not worry about what you're doing.
Yeah, you don't need free will anymore.
You don't need the free will
because
anymore.
you trust Ishwara as things unfold. That's what's going to happen.
I mean, we only teach free will because the person thinks they're in charge of something.
Mm.
They own the actions and so forth, you know. But you can't own an action unless you're the author of the action. There's no copyright. Ishwara has copyrighted everything from the beginning. So everything you're doing is like just stolen. It's plagiarized from God, isn't it? So then you see that, you just relax. That's all.
So
Yeah.
yes,
That's yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
Ishwara is the only.
Ishwara's a movie projector. It's just projecting those dreams, and the waking world is a dream world too. I mean, it's it just doesn't look like it's a dream, but it's as dreamlike as the dream world,
That's right.
isn't it?
It's the same.
Okay. Yeah, indeed. It's lovely
Lovely
to
to
see
see
you
you
guys. We'll next week. I don't know what we're doing next week.
We'll let you know. We'll send out a
Yeah, we'll
campaign.
send out a newsletter. This seem to work. We're trying to move out of the putting everything in Shining World into the Google system, YouTube, and to the whole thing. We're just paying too much for subscription services for all these different services and stuff, and we can save thousands of dollars by just simplifying it, put it all in the Google ecosystem. So. And keep sending your satsangs and your love, and we'll keep sending satsangs back with love. So it's good.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, good night. Take it easy.
Good to see you all.
Bye. Okay, then. That was good. I think we're pretty good on this. No, I sort of.
No, don't.
No, you cancel.
What did do they write here? I think.
Huh? What?
Okay. Well, they had a few questions here too.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. They wanted you to look in the chat.
Oh, I see. Too late now.
That's what I was asking you about the chat.
Oh, that's Elliot.